Hi, welcome to H&H. Another irrigation job we got. We got Irrigation Charles Hennessy here.
How you doing?
And we got here, we had to replumb a system over here in Horatio, Castleberry, Florida. And as you can see, we got the backflow. We got two valves. We had a cut right there on that 90, that elbow there. And we had come and replumb 5 valves. So as we got there, we have my brother over there slipping one as now. We use a easy span coupling slip fix. About the best invention they ever came out with irrigation. Alright. Now next would be this valve. So that I can give the camera here to my brother and we'll get started. Where's the hand shovel? Okay, hand shovel. Now ladies and gentlemen, you always want to kind of clear out around your pipe, get plenty of working space in there. And as you do, you want to kind of carry some rags with you. You always want a nice, clean, smooth surface when you're sawing and cutting. And on these type of jobs, ladies and gentlemen, you measure twice and cut once. Just get this rag.
I think I had the wrong one. Oh, I did.
Okay. Now, make sure all your ends are clean. Cover your valves up so you get no dirt in there. Alright. Now, get my T. I know I prefabbed this T. I'm using 1-inch ear troll valves, jar tops. I use the jar tops because they're easy maintenance. You can screw them off. You can clean the diaphragm out. No problem. But what we got here is we got one valve going to the 1/2 inch and we got one valve going to the 1-inch. What we're going to do here is I prefabbed, had a stub piece of 1-inch pipe. I put it into a T. We have a 1/2 inch input into the T and we got it reduced to that to meet the 1/2 inch down here. Now, first step I want to do is get this glued in here so I can get my primer and glue. You could pick these up at your local Home Depot or Lowe's. Sold in all 50 states, ladies and gentlemen. Now, first thing you do is you always want to use primer. Some irrigations have the philosophy that primer is only for dirty pipe. You use it on everything. By the book, you're supposed to use it. It takes away hot spots, which makes the glue break and doesn't bind well.
Those pipes are dirty.
So we'll take a little bit in there just to wipe them out, put some of that primer on there, that strong stuff. Now remember, don't get it messed up. This is not a cleaner, it is a primer, strictly to soften and lubricate the pipe so all the fittings go on nice and well. Now I like to dab a little primer in just to eliminate some of that dirt out of the pipe. Now we always prime our fittings inside and out. Never glue inside the fitting unless 2 inch and above, ladies and gentlemen, according to your rainbow tutorial. Now we primed our valve, so now we're going to put a little glue on the pipe here. Do you remember correct? It's always purple and blue, purple and blue. I'll tell you what, we're going to put this in here and kind of angle it a little bit because it's going to have to meet our flex. Alright, now we're going to seal our cans. You always want to seal your cans so they don't dry up. And you want to use your rags again. Use one rag to cover one valve and the other to cover the other. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you do not get dirt in these valves. If you get dirt in the valves, they will cause them not to work. And you also get dirt goes to all your filters and your heads. So it's very important you keep them covered up at all times while you are digging and clearing out. Now, as you can see, we're in a bad angle here. A lot of bushes and shrubbery around us, so it's hard to move in here. But a good irrigation tech always clears out more than he has to, so he has plenty of working room. So let's clear this out. Now, we're going to see if we got either a slip fix or we will have to go vertical with a set of 1-inch 90s. Now on 1/2 inch, it's very easy. Sometimes it's best just to use a flex hose. Always make sure your ends are clear and ready to go. There's a lot of dirt in this pipe, so you gotta make sure you get the ends cleared. Now I see a lot of YouTube videos on up north and how they do it up there, and we're actually in the state of Florida, ladies and gentlemen, and it gets very hot in here, and we don't have the hard freezes like you guys do up north, so it's a little bit different landscape and irrigation technique down here. Alright, now I'm gonna hand me my saw, or give me the cutters, I'm sorry, saw too. Alright. Now I like to cut a little of this access pipe off just to give you some room of. This is that thin wall, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have thin wall cutters, so you gotta kind of work with it. Alright. Okay. Now, let me go get my flex pipe. Mr. Regan, can you get me the piece of flex pipe? I got my assistant, Mr. Regan.
You've got to be kidding.
Old boy can't quit working. Trump supporter. Well, what we got here, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave our 2 existing valves. This is what you call a pressure reducer for your drip line. Home gardeners. Orbit valve. We're going to leave these in. They're not broke, we don't break them. But here we had to cut. Use a 90, 1 inch. We ran our ear troll jar tops. We got 5 here. We did 3 slip fixes. Best irrigation invention ever. And now we're working on our last 2 zones. And then it's time for a lunch break. So as my assistant Carl gets me my flex pipe. Now it's very important you always pay attention to what way water is flowing. Water comes through a main line, goes up into the backflow, comes back down, out and around, and feeds each valve. So always keep in mind which way your arrows shall point. Let me get my flex pipe, ladies and gentlemen.